Good morning, everyone. Republic Jim here. It's another lovely spring day. My legs are only slightly sore from the high rep squat workout I did a few days ago, and thought today was an appropriate time to talk about another subject that's been on my mind, which is, as you can see from the title, is getting comfortable with being uncomfortable. I'm going to be driving as I talk again, so I apologize in advance for the wind noise. As usual, I have my window open. First, I have to point out that when I'm talking about being uncomfortable, I'm not meaning doing anything unsafe. I recommend things for short periods of time and under controlled conditions where you can then remove that situation when it does get to be too much. Don't do anything extreme or compromise your health. But just for preparedness, being ready for whatever life may throw at you, whatever disasters, it just makes sense to be a little more ready for discomfort. Just to start, not really a rant, and I know it's a generalization, but what I see is that in our society as a whole, we've really become addicted to comfort and convenience. And a lot of people, if they take the slightest bit of discomfort, then they just freak out and they can't handle it, and they want to get away from that discomfort and back where everything is just pleasant. And that doesn't really work in a disaster or emergency scenario. If you look at all the possibilities of what could go wrong, what could happen in a disaster, there's an awful lot of situations where you're going to be dealing with discomfort, and if you spend your whole life trying to avoid that, then it's going to be so much harder mentally and physically to just deal with the situation and get on with it. Our ancestors, it wasn't that many generations back where there was just a lot more hardship. They didn't have all the modern comforts that we have now that we just take for granted. And life was a lot harder, and they just had to deal with those discomforts on a regular basis. And they didn't necessarily think about it, but they were just hardened to it and did what needed to be done, and they did some amazing things. And there's just a lot less of that these days as people have gotten spoiled. So what I advocate is just doing regular, uncomfortable things. Like I said, not extreme, but just enough to kind of build up that resistance to it. And I'll give some just general examples, kind of explain what I mean. The most obvious one for anybody that's watched many of my videos on cold adaptation is temperature. Right now it's about 35 degrees. I'm driving around with the window down and a pullover shirt, no heat. And of course, a lot of that is because of the deliberate cold adaptation that I've done. My body's generating heat. But even so, while my torso stays warm, my arm out the window and my hands and such, they do get chilly. Not so much today because we're being above freezing, but when it's 20 degrees, generally before I get to work, my hands are getting pretty cold and painful. But I make myself go through anyway and not roll up the window or on gloves just because I know that it's my body's to the point where that's not going to cause me any damage, and I just suck it up and deal with the pain just in order to get used to that discomfort. Other people, the threshold on that will be a lot less, but you can do it in small increments. And then in the reverse, with hot temperatures, we don't have to always use air conditioning, but so many people, the moment it gets warm, they're cranking up the air conditioning, staying indoors and such. Get in small doses if you have to, but go without air conditioning now and then. Sweat a little bit. Get used to different temperature ranges and just being able to accommodate that and do what you have to do. One example is going barefoot or working with your hands without gloves. You can possibly pick up some scrapes or blisters or that sort of thing, but if you're only doing it for a short period, nothing too crazy, it's definitely uncomfortable at first, but part of it there is you build up calluses and toughness in your hands and feet to where you're just physically capable of dealing with more. And then part of it is the mental aspect of the discomfort, just knowing that it's not that big of a deal, and walking on gravel or hot pavement or whatever, pulling a rope without gloves, and that sort of thing. The ability to do that without flinching could really come in handy during a disaster. Another one is going without food for a while. I'm not really into intermittent fasting. Some people find that it works for them. I don't like it at all, but I occasionally do fast for a while just to get used to being hungry and still continuing to go about my business. Like I said, not pleasant, but being able to get used to that discomfort at times for a while, because I know I can eat when I need to, but then if I'm in a situation where it's an emergency, I don't have access to food, I can keep going longer without letting it become a distraction, just because I have worked at getting used to that discomfort. Another useful one is occasionally sleeping on the ground, like on a makeshift bed from branches or whatever. Do campouts, don't use an air mattress all the time, and trying to always be comfortable, but work at just doing things a little more primitive, getting used to that. I could go on and on. There's all sorts of things that you can do, but just sort of go over in your mind, what things make you uncomfortable. Is it going out in the rain and getting soaked? Okay, you don't have an umbrella, but it's pouring. But if you're not in any danger of hypothermia or anything, why not occasionally just step outside in that downpour with your head up and just walk where you need to go, get soaked, and deal with it. Just think about different stuff like that where that it's unpleasant to you, but it's not anything that's going to be dangerous, and just occasionally make that deliberate effort to expose yourself to those discomforts and build up a tolerance to it. You may find that at some point you're in a disaster situation, and life tends to throw the weirdest things at you. If you've worked deliberately to build up that tolerance to discomfort, if you're more comfortable with it, you'll be much better off functioning in that situation and being able to carry on regardless of all the minor inconveniences and discomforts. So think about that. Consider giving it a try. I hope that's been helpful. This has been Republic Jim. I'll talk to you later.